Hello, my name is David Aaron Grigg. I'm on the ballot for President of the United States. I've been listening to all the C-SPAN coverage on the speakers at the Iowa fair, and from what I've heard, they want to roll back regulations. I want better consumer uh, protections and quality control on merchandise such as microwaves, tennis shoes, cars, road surfaces. I want consumer protections. I don't want to have to go out here and learn all this stuff that we should have already known. I mean, yes, we're a free market. We got to protect the free market. But at the same time, we have to have standards that accommodate our hard-earned money. I spent $60, I spent $75 last year on a pair of Nikes. They disintegrated from sitting in the closet too long, like 4 months. And then I bought another pair of shoes. I asked him, I said, "Are these outdoor rated?" He's like, "Yeah." They lasted me 2 months of use. I didn't even wear the bottoms out. We need consumer protections. The roads out here, I'm going here tomorrow. I heard about somebody getting a flat tire, turning in a piece of paper to the state, and getting a voucher for restitution because it was something that the state had done to cause the damages. I'm going tomorrow morning to fill me out a paper for all the damages these potholes do to my vehicles, which was 4 vehicles in 4 years, if not more. I probably lost count. Uh, so we need consumer protections. I've seen concrete last for from 1981 till today, just a solid and good, not corroded from the salt. Nothing. It's solid. Now I've seen sidewalks and stuff that were more recent that are just disintegrating. Uh, from 1995, steps that go into steps, treads, they're disintegrating because they weren't made to last. We're being forced to be a consumer economy where you have to buy cars over and over and over and over and over. You have to buy tires once a year. They got it down to where they'll wear out within a year of just commuting back and forth to work. If you're lucky, you'll get a full year, maybe 2 years out of a set of tires. We got to have consumer protections. We got to. We got to roll back. I had to tell him that he needs to play in his room for more than 5 seconds at a time. So I can come in here and talk to you so when he gets to college, doesn't have to hawk his whole future just to learn more and learn the subject matter that he should have learned in high school. The only thing the college does is let you have access to the technologies for study. So the intellectual technology and patent laws puts the stuff up on a shelf that keeps the universities relevant to access it. It drives me crazy. You either got to pay for it. We could go and develop my school or any class, anybody could develop a science experiment like what they did in the Gulf Coast to pull that oil spill in. The buoys. The exact principle, my friend did this one. In 1980s, she did this one. A buoy system to get, and anyhow, she developed that. Did she get a patent on it and put it away and become a billionaire when it was a necessity to save part of the ecosystem of the Gulf of Mexico? She probably should have. But you guys didn't go back, the system didn't go back into records and see who developed that, did they? Who knows? She might not have been the first one to develop it. Pretty clever idea that she had. I don't remember hearing of any other large oil spills until Exxon. So she probably did develop it. But I don't believe she would have charged you for it. But a corporation come in here and buy up that patent, put it up on a daggum shelf, use that whole little that child's what is it, a report? Yeah, a report. To get a patent, to put on a shelf, to prevent access to the child who developed it. Anyhow, it's a scam and we got to stop it. What else do y'all talk about? Insurance is a scam. Insurance is an enslavement of the American people through the rule of law. We are enslaved all the way through the rule of law, from prohibition tactics that just enable these other people to tell you what kind of medicines you should use and what sort of substances are healthy for your system, what kind of things give you comfort. And then they try to make you use their supplements that cause discomfort. Vicodin, all that stuff really does not address my paralysis in my neck or my knees so much. I don't know about my knees. I never tried it for that. But for my nerve damage and my stuff in my neck, all them pain pills and stuff, I take them out and just throw them in a hole versus take them to treat the pain. All right? I don't take them. I don't take any of that crap because it's tainted stuff. It's just there to keep me enslaved to a little daggum, to these doctor's offices up here that keep me from being able to buy the equipment and doing my own teeth. I'll do my own damn teeth. It'd be a lot easier than trying to go 50 miles to hit up a dentist. I don't know. It's a bunch of crap from one end to the other. I guess I'll just pause this for a few minutes until an epiphany of real what they've been talking. Oh, they've been talking about immigration. I want to talk about a new tax system on trade transit. You don't hear that. If we had a transit and trade sales tax, insurance sales tax, because we need to have securities in our day-to-day commerce. You don't hear that. You don't hear any kind of concept of ridding us of insurance. Why? Maybe AEG is everybody's retirement plan. Maybe that is the academic elite's way of keeping us enslaved through the rule of law. We got to get rid of the enslavement through the rule of law that starts with substances. Cocaine, it's pretty damn good shit, especially when it's clean. And, you know what? Well, it's clean, you know. And all of it's fine if it's clean and prepared properly. All right? All of it, acid, mushrooms, Molly, ecstasy, all that stuff is all good to go if it is good and clean. Now, if it is black marketed, forced to the underworld, it is very deadly and dangerous. Look at all the heroin's deaths that this college has had. Kids falling out in the creek and drowning to death on heroin. And you know why? Because we're not keeping it from the kids. We're trying to... It's just an infringement on freedom and liberty that causes a destructive black market, underworld. If it was legal and you could go to the pharmacy get it, or you could go to the bars and do it and get it, that'd be fine. Maybe you ought to stop letting these kids sit up here in college for 3 years drunk off their ass and paying them to sit there in school. Maybe we ought to have probationary liberties starting at 15 years old that goes up to 23. And in them probationary liberties is where you learn to live out on your own, partner up with your partner. You can have children. It is healthy for young ladies to have their children early. That's scientific stuff. 17, that's like prime time. You're old maid, you go any further past that. Because you got to develop the muscles while you're developing your growth. So, you know. And then when you get a little older, from what I've heard, having another child when you're a little older revigorates you. That's what I've heard. So our whole system is totally wrong on delegating authority over the steps to adulthood. From 15 to 23 ought to be probationary liberties. No recreational substances at all. Yes, you can live and cohabitate in a co-ed facility. Okay, we should really encourage that. That is the nature of things, the proper nature of things. You should have the option to fall in love when you're first falling in love and want to get close and intimate to nest with somebody. Learn to live together at a young age. That's good, because you're damn sure not going to learn to live with somebody else when you get older. All right. I don't know. We need middle schools. I don't hear any of the candidates talking about middle schools. If we had middle schools, we could break up some of this learned behavior, more crude and learned behavior of, I don't know, naysayers, depressed people, just people that, I hate it here. And then the little kids are like, I hate it here. And then the littler kids are like, school sucks, I hate it here. You know, that it's just a learned behavior that's handed down, and we really need to break up the content from maturity with the middle school. That way when they go out in middle school and they're into high school, at 15 years old they go into high school, we need to allow them to vote. That way their parents can go through it with them, help them navigate it without the system having to be so prominent in the decision making. The teacher sits there and and this is how it should be to get us some more and then these voters go out and vote for, let us get this and this, not realizing they're robbing the free market to do it. There's two markets. There's the socialism, and then there's the free market. The free market needs to be preserved because that's where innovation is born and fostered. The socialism, we do need common projects that we work together on. We need to get a way, we need just to come together with common infrastructure projects. We need a flat appropriations bill on trade and commerce and trade, commerce, trade, that appropriates the money, gives us a real feeling of working together other than, well, we had some good civil tools such as the fire department and the first responders, and now with all the undermining of our social order with the use of the police, we need to bring back their respect, and the only way I can respect a law enforcement officer is if he's not here to give us a hard time for our recreation. We should be free to do what we want as long as, if we get out here on the road and kill somebody, whether we're drunk or sober, we should be held accountable. Alright? Period. The same. Not, oh, well, you had this in your system, you go for 15 years. Oh, you were just a dumbass, you don't have to go to prison because you didn't, you know. No, if you hurt somebody, you should be held accountable the same. Whether you're drunk, stoned, sober, or anything. If you hurt somebody like that, you should be held accountable. There shouldn't be a double standard. Well, he's just born that dumb. This guy did a substance, he's that dumb. No. All the same. Like, okay. I'm going to pause it for a second and take a think. Now they do talk about overseas a lot and use that to water down the real relevant issues with infrastructure, all that stuff. Uh, uh, it's just kind of cool. We're being coerced, if we're really gaining good, visible discussion between the citizens and the representatives, and everything's coming together. Then all of a sudden, boom, there's a 9/11. Maybe a necessary evil in some eyes, but only the coercive eyes that want to figure out how to keep what they got going, the scams they got going. Anyhow, intellectual technology, insurances, they both need to be reformed to where we're able to access this intellectual technology and stuff, so we can actually get quality machinery. See, when the patents come out, well, then the quality went to pieces, because now you don't have to make the best product to stay in business. You can be the one that controls the products to be in business. See, back in the 1800s and 1700s, they were daggum innovating. They were marketing the best of it. Actually, since electricity, the 1900s, or early 1900s, this blender would run so good. But oh, listen to that one. That one's quieter. It's not. Because, okay, nowadays, this guy that don't hardly work has got the patents, and this guy over here can't make the nice quality, high dollar in thing that we want. When was the last time you seen anything that was really made well? I was raised in a junkyard, so I've seen a few pieces of machinery that were made to last and made to perform with minimal inputs, with maximum efficient. And you take today's electricity and you put it with them mechanical devices of the 1700s and 1800s, and you should be able to make a turbine off of a Walkman tape motor. Really. We need to free up our technologies and be able to use it. We need to come together with common projects, such as figuring out how to get construction materials and materials that are rigid, not living organisms that can get hurt from too many G's, but rigid materials up into space without using fossil fuel, without the BTUs that they're using. Couple of different ways of thinking of doing it. I've yet to see them try to shoot something up. Maybe not from dead stop, maybe a gradual spin to, I don't know, anything, something. We need to come together. NASA should not be limited at all. But they shouldn't be trying to study Pluto with the finite resources they do have. If they're limited in their monetary amounts, why are they looking at Pluto when we don't even have a platform, intermediate platform in space, in our, oh man, I don't know. We just need to come together on projects. I don't see them talking about that. I don't see them say we need this flat trade insurance sales tax to preserve the free market at the same time while coming together for the common good. That's the common good. But if you don't have the free market, you are going to have no drive. That's right. But you shouldn't tax and insurance us to the point to where we can't even keep up, because the only thing keeping me from manufacturing what I'm talking about is money. I can go on and blame every reason why I haven't really gotten to the level of education that would entitle me to the tools that I desire to use. But, I just did not get my vocabulary down when I was young and impressionable. I just did not get the right kind of mentorship that I should have had. Matter of fact, I don't know what you call somebody that just constantly says they're helping you but undermines you the whole time. We'll say, here, I got that $100, but you got to jump over that pit of fire and fall in it and climb back out before you can have it. And by that time, you need $200. They do it all the time. This whole country's covered up in them. We need a system that can work regardless of the undermining type. Regardless of the people that let the weeds grow in the roads, don't try to poison. See, there used to be oil in the roads to keep the weeds from growing up in them. Well, now the EPA and everybody got on to us with our regulations. That's why they haven't passed the transportation bill, I guess. We need to get a surface structure that is meant to stay. And I've seen concrete. I've already said this. I've seen concrete from the 81 that's been through the harshest weather with all the salt and the harshest stuff on them. A lot of traffic on them. And they're still good to go. And I see modern stuff that's not good to go because of, I don't even know the word for it, an underhanded, sneaky piece of work that keep bringing us down to this level that thinks that you can keep maintaining us on a downward level. We need innovation. I went to the bike shop. I didn't see any kind of innovation. I don't get on a bicycle 100% for exercise. I would like to get on a bicycle that I pedal a couple times and go 10 miles. Not have to pedal for 10 miles. Not like a friggin' retard. I better stop it there because I don't know how to edit. I'm literally tired of having to pay all these insurances and layers of taxes that don't cover me for nothing. I shouldn't have. At a certain point, I don't know. I didn't have to go to school. I didn't go to school. I didn't have to. I'm not going to have to because, well, I mean, I don't know. I wish I knew how to edit these tapes. Well, there's a bunch of it. And it's next time I tell you this, that's why I keep losing my place because I keep telling it over and over and over. But this time I did it a little different. I did the wall pyramid thing. It evolved slightly, but it's still the basic principle. One, safe trade transit insurance sales tax to accommodate all the securities that maintain a good, safe community. Thank you. And I would rather everybody kind of get on the same discussion, but if they don't, I will do the job, and I will guarantee you one thing. I'm going to do it at least 10% cheaper on my salary. I mean, have any of them said they'll do 10%? Trump probably said, well, I'll just pay myself. Well, Trump's got his cards, and he's Trump tight with the game the way it is. I hate to call you out on that like that, but let's see. Everybody else is talking about rolling back to reforms. I mean, not the reforms, but the regulations. And I say, well, first we got to get good consumer protections. Then we got to get a product surface treatment on these roads that's going to last until I'm way gone. I don't know. It's what they're putting down is cracking over in the next county over. a road surface ought to last 20. We ought to be able to do pretty good. We ought to be getting better at it instead of worse at it. Oh, well, we're using better products. Well, there were more fish in the water when I was a kid than there are now. So when I was a kid was the 80s. What I am now is 2015. So whatever you're doing now, stop it and go back to what you was doing in the 80s on the roads. Make them of something that grass and trees don't grow on. Do it one good time compared to doing it every other day. I don't know. It's just retarded, man. Right out here to DO2 maintenance, they paved the road in front of it. They put a hole in it like that. My tire hits it all the time. Ba-doom. Brand new pavement. Why is there a hole in the middle of the road? God, just the stuff that's being done in this place and time. Could it hinge on one person's participation? I'd hope not. I definitely participated in shadows. Can evolution not be a good thing? Yeah, I really don't have an interest in anything that's going on. The only reason I go to work is for food and stuff. NASA doesn't even interest me. Let's get together, fully fund the space exploration projects and the infrastructure projects that's necessary for a good, vibrant commute. And I got a lot of ideas on how to get stuff to space without using rockets or without low-level emissions. I mean, it'd be nice to get away from rockets. It'd be nice to shoot multiple loads in an hour window. To literally set up a settlement in an hour's launch. Because, if we're moving through space, which we're moving through space, one way or the other, we're moving through space. If we can excrete multiple loads all at one spot, maybe we can colonize a section of space, or at least make one greenhouse project up there. I mean, I just imagine it'd be floating up there, wouldn't it? Instead of trying to travel millions of miles to start with. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff we need to do. A lot of stuff. I don't know. It is on everybody's mind, though, what the direction this country's headed in.